Hello, family, and welcome back. Today we're talking about something refreshingly simple, real respect, and came from Birmingham. During Prince Harry's visit for the countdown to the Invictus Games Birmingham 2027, a member of Parliament for Birmingham, Selly Oak, made a statement that has been resonating with so many people. It wasn't complicated. It wasn't wrapped in political theater. It simply acknowledged Prince Harry for what he is. The MP said, "Prince Harry's a veteran. He served our country with pride, honor, courage, and determination. So having him here to open the games is fantastic, and I support him 100%.
Those words didn't come from just any politician. They came from Al Carnes, the Labour MP for Birmingham Selly Oak and Britain's Minister for Veterans and People. As a former Royal Marines officer who served his country for more than 20 years, Carnes knows exactly what military service demands. That's why his words carried so much weight. Coming from a fellow veteran and the minister responsible for veterans, that isn't empty praise. It's recognition from someone who understands the profession of arms.
Sometimes the simplest statements carry the greatest weight. For years, it has often felt as though parts of the media have worked overtime trying to redefine Prince Harry. Depending on the headline of the day, he is described as a rebel, a problem, a headline generator, or someone whose every move must somehow be interpreted through the lens of royal drama. But before any of that, he was Captain Harry Wales. He was a soldier. He wore the uniform. He trained, he deployed, he served alongside fellow servicemen and women who judged him not by his surname, but by whether he could do the job. That history doesn't disappear simply because some newspaper columnist decides today's outrage requires ignoring it. Military service is earned. It cannot be rewritten by opinion pieces. It cannot be erased by gossip columns. It cannot be taken away because someone dislikes a documentary, a memoir, or an interview. Prince Harry earned the respect of many people through his service long before he ever became one of the most talked about members of the royal family. That is why the MP's comments stood out. They reminded everyone why Prince Harry was actually in Birmingham. He wasn't there to discuss palace politics. He wasn't there to respond to rumors. He wasn't there to create controversy. He was there because of veterans. He was there because of wounded service personnel. He was there because of the Invictus Games. Sometimes you have to laugh at how determined certain headlines are to make every Harry visit about everything except the actual reason he's there. A city could be celebrating injured veterans, volunteers could be working around the clock, athletes could be preparing for the competition of their lives, and somewhere a columnist is still asking, but what does this mean for the king's breakfast? Humanity truly has remarkable priorities. What happened in Birmingham told a different story. The crowds told a different story. The volunteers told a different story. The veterans told a different story. And now an elected representative has added his voice to that growing chorus. Because here's something worth remembering. Invictus was never created to polish anyone's image. It was created because Prince Harry witnessed firsthand what recovery looks like after conflict. He saw the physical injuries. He saw the invisible wounds. He understood that rehabilitation is about much more than medicine. It's about purpose. It's about community. It's about reminding people that life after injury can still be full of ambition, competition, friendship, and joy. That idea became the Invictus Games. Think about that for a moment. More than a decade after its launch, athletes from around the world continue to compete. Families continue to find hope. Veterans continue to inspire millions. Cities continue to compete for the honor of hosting the games. That isn't an accident. That doesn't happen because of clever public relations. That happens because the idea genuinely changes lives. One of the most frustrating aspects of royal coverage is how quickly meaningful work is pushed aside whenever there is an opportunity to speculate about family relations. Prince Harry can spend months preparing for veteran-focused events, yet some outlets devote more space to discussing who may or may not have had tea with whom. It's almost impressive. Almost.
Imagine attending an international sporting event celebrating wounded veterans and deciding the biggest story is seating arrangements at a palace hundreds of miles away. Some editors truly possess an Olympic-level commitment to missing the point. Meanwhile, Birmingham seemed focused on something far more important. The city welcomed Prince Harry. Local leaders welcomed Prince Harry. Veterans welcomed Prince Harry. People who understand what Invictus means welcomed Prince Harry. That atmosphere matters. Because respect isn't always measured in headlines. Sometimes it's measured in applause. Sometimes it's measured in smiles. Sometimes it's measured in the excitement on people's faces when someone walks into the room. Those moments are difficult to fake. You could see people genuinely pleased that Prince Harry had returned. You could see veterans wanting to speak with him. You could see volunteers proud that Birmingham will host the games. Those reactions tell us something. They remind us that there is often a significant gap between online outrage and real-world interactions. Social media can sometimes make it seem as though everyone is permanently furious. Then you step outside, people shake hands, people laugh together, people celebrate shared achievements. Reality tends to be much calmer than the internet would have us believe. The MP's statement reflected that reality. He acknowledged Harry's military service. He acknowledged Harry's character during that service. He welcomed him to Birmingham, and he offered his full support. Notice what wasn't included. No insults, no personal attacks, no attempts to diminish Harry's achievements, no suggestion that his contribution somehow no longer counts, just recognition. That should not be controversial. Military service deserves respect, regardless of where someone ends up later in life. Whether people agree with every decision Prince Harry has made since leaving royal duties is a separate conversation. But acknowledging his service should never be difficult. He served. He deployed. He accepted the risks that every deployed serviceman and woman accepts. That deserves recognition. It is also worth reflecting on what Prince Harry has chosen to dedicate much of his post-military life to. He could have pursued countless opportunities. Instead, one of his defining commitments has remained veterans. Invictus continues to be one of the most successful international sporting events dedicated to wounded, injured, and sick service personnel. Every edition creates stories that are genuinely inspiring. Athletes overcoming injuries once thought impossible, families reunited through hope, competitors discovering confidence they believed had disappeared forever. These are not abstract ideas. These are real people, real recoveries, real lives transformed. Prince Harry often says the competitors are the true heroes. Watching Invictus, it becomes very difficult to disagree. The spotlight belongs to them. Harry has consistently used his platform to ensure the world sees their courage. That is leadership. Not leadership through titles, leadership through action, leadership through consistency, leadership through showing up year after year. Another thing Birmingham demonstrated is that communities understand authenticity. People can usually tell when someone genuinely cares about a cause. Prince Harry didn't create Invictus as a one-off appearance. He has remained deeply involved for years. He continues attending. He continues meeting competitors. He continues speaking with families. He continues advocating for veterans' well-being. That consistency builds trust. Trust cannot be manufactured overnight. It is earned, much like military respect itself. Perhaps that explains why the welcome felt so genuine. People weren't simply greeting a prince, they were greeting someone whose work has touched countless lives. They were greeting someone whose work has given injured veterans an international stage where resilience is celebrated instead of pity. That is worth applauding. As supporters of Prince Harry and Meghan, moments like this are encouraging because they remind us that headlines do not define reality. Reality is found in communities. Reality is found in charities. Reality is found in the people whose lives have been changed. Reality is found in veterans who know exactly what military service demands. Those voices matter. The MP's words echoed what many veterans and supporters have said for years. Prince Harry served with pride. He served with honor. He served with courage. He served with determination. Those qualities did not suddenly disappear because he chose a different path for his family. If anything, his continued dedication to veterans demonstrates that service never truly left him. It simply evolved. Instead of serving on the battlefield, he now serves through advocacy, through community, and through ensuring that wounded servicemen and women are never forgotten. That legacy will endure far longer than any sensational headline. Newspapers come and go, commentators change, outrage fades. But every future Invictus Games will stand as a reminder that one idea, born from compassion and experience, has become a global movement. Birmingham now becomes part of that story. The city has embraced the challenge, its leaders are showing support, its people are excited, its MP has publicly recognized Prince Harry's contribution without hesitation. That is exactly the kind of conversation we should be having. Not endless speculation, not recycled palace gossip, not another debate built entirely on anonymous sources. Instead, let's focus on the veterans. Let's focus on resilience. Let's focus on recovery. Let's focus on the communities that continue to rally around the Invictus spirit. Because that is ultimately why Prince Harry was in Birmingham. And judging by the welcome he received, many people understood that perfectly. If this visit is any indication, Birmingham 2027 is shaping up to be something very special. Not because of royal intrigue, not because of tabloid drama, but because thousands of competitors, families, volunteers, and supporters will come together to celebrate courage in its purest form. That is a story worth telling. And perhaps, just perhaps, if more headlines focused on that instead of chasing the latest manufactured controversy, everyone would be a little better informed. A wildly optimistic thought, admittedly, but stranger things have happened. Prince Harry's service deserves respect. His commitment to veterans deserves recognition. And Birmingham's warm welcome showed that, beyond the noise, there are still plenty of people who see the man behind the headlines and appreciate the work he continues to do. That's a message worth celebrating. And also today, one of the most heartwarming moments of Prince Harry's UK visit came on day 5, when he traded conference halls and speeches for something much simpler and arguably much more meaningful. He spent the morning at Scotty's summer festival, joining children from bereaved military families for a day that was all about laughter, friendship, and making happy memories. There were goat yoga sessions, water balloon fights, races across the grass, plenty of selfies, and perhaps most importantly, genuine conversations. Looking at those photographs, you don't see someone putting on a performance for the cameras. You see a man who is completely at ease around children, smiling from ear to ear as goats climbed onto him and youngsters laughed all around him. It was a reminder that service isn't always delivered from a podium. Sometimes it's found sitting on the grass with children who simply need a joyful day. One image in particular captured people's hearts almost instantly.
Prince Harry knelt down as one mischievous little goat decided that the Duke's shoulder was the perfect place to climb. Instead of pulling away, Harry burst into laughter, covering his face as everyone around him smiled. In another moment, he sat surrounded by goats happily nibbling away while children watched with excitement. Those are the kinds of unscripted moments that no communications team could ever manufacture. They happen because someone is genuinely present, willing to embrace the chaos, laugh at themselves, and make children feel comfortable. Frankly, any royal can wave from a balcony. Surviving an ambush by determined goats while keeping a grin on your face requires a slightly different set of skills.
The day wasn't only fun, though. Prince Harry also took time to sit down with the children and answer their questions, listening carefully and speaking with them as individuals rather than simply posing for photographs. Scotty's supports children and young people who have experienced the loss of a parent serving in the British Armed Forces, so Harry's visit carried a deeper significance. Having served in the military himself, he understands the unique bonds that exist within the armed forces community and the sacrifices military families make every single day. His willingness to spend quality time with these children reflected something we have seen throughout his public life. Whether through Invictus, Well Child, or military charities, Harry consistently makes time for people whose stories deserve to be heard. Perhaps that is the biggest takeaway from this visit. While some headlines remained busy chasing palace speculation, Prince Harry was busy making memories with children who have endured unimaginable loss. Those smiles, those laughs, those spontaneous moments with goats, water balloons, and races are likely to stay with those young people long after the newspapers have moved on to their next manufactured controversy. In the end, that is what meaningful public service looks like. It isn't measured by the loudest headline. It's measured by the lives touched, the people encouraged, and the moments of kindness that leave a lasting impression. Judging by the joy on those children's faces, Prince Harry's Day 5 in the UK was a wonderful example of exactly that. Thank you for watching, and I will see you in the next video.